Jarec today? Hmm. He's been busy. I gotcha.
Hey, how's it going, man? How you doing, brother? How's married life treating you?
Zero and eight. Damn. That's fun. Really? Oh god. That's fine, that's fine. We'll do our best.
What up?
Yo.
Yeah, I'm the old man.
Gentleman.
Elder gentleman.
And oh yeah. That sounds a lot better than old man.
I think he was trying to be nice, but didn't know how to like explain it.
Yeah, I think he was trying to just be respectful.
Yeah, I didn't take it as being. No, I don't care. Whatever. I don't really give a fuck about it.
Just got a second here, guys. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. All right, guys, almost there. Just give us 30 seconds and we'll be going live here. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Knights of TELERIA podcast. Thank you all for joining us today on this, I guess, looking out my window, I wouldn't say gorgeous Sunday. I'd say very wet Sunday. It is. I think we just got like 7 or 8 inches of rain in the last half an hour. So it's insane. It's insane. I know some places out in Florida where storm is right now is getting kind of that, if not worse. But that said, let me introduce my co-hosts for today. And we've got in the red box, Mr. FinalKenpachi. Ken, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Doing good. Did the takeoff today, like on the Sundays, and yeah, feeling better. Not taking too much time on the rate, you know. And nice to be with you guys. How about you? How we doing?
Nice, doing good, doing good. Thank you for asking. Next up, we got the older gentleman, Mr. Gestal Gaming. Gestal, what's going on, brother?
Going great. Got Marius this week. Put him to work a little bit on Friday night in Live Arena. Man, he is so good into Mythical Champs. I am so happy to have him because all I face are comps of Mythical Champs, so I got a little bit of a counter now. Very happy to have him.
Nice, nice. And next up, in the sexy green light right there, we've got Mr. MXPJE. PJ, what's going on, brother?
Doing good. Watched some UFC yesterday, some pretty good fights, and then yeah, chilling today. Happy to be here with you guys talking about upcoming raid stuff.
All right, all right. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. First of all, we've got the fusion that seems to have a lot of people, I guess, skipping or upset, and I want to get your thoughts a little bit on it, and then I want to talk about Hydra Clash and how we have a possible Trunda nerf coming. And I feel like Hydra Clash, the way we're going at it, we're going to have a big problem here because we can't just have a single meta team. But first off, let's start off with their Twitter page where they asked the player base, are you participating in the Scored Half Spawn Fusion? We got 20% of the community that says yes. 56% of the community says no, I am skipping this. And then 15% says I'm thinking about it. And then we got a special button. The special button, I'm guessing, is if you just want to see the reviews. But how do you guys feel? Are members in your community skipping this fusion? And should they really be? Because could we be seeing something different happening down the line? Ken, what do you think, man?
I mean, it depends your account, you know, like if you need a Hex champion, it's definitely good. You know, I don't recommend people to skip that one. But again, if you already have like solid Hex champion, Valkyne, Michinagi, Archer girl, you know, like of course you can decide to skip it. I actually have this champion, I just named, but I still going for him. I really like him actually. I think he have a lot of potential, especially with the high star on him.
Okay. Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, definitely a lot of people in my chat on the stream are skipping it, which I guess I understand it. He's not an account changer. He's like Kenpachi said, I think he's definitely good. I've only watched like a video or two on him. He definitely looks good. But for me, I feel like it's mostly driven by FOMO going for these guys every month. Because I feel like they almost, because they released one of these champs in a fusion, they almost try to develop content around it. Whether it's a year from now or a month from now, I feel like they kind of do that. So I always feel like it's worth going for them, especially now because the non-void and the void Lego pools are so big. It's going to be near impossible to get them, even if it's a 15x going up to a 25x if you miss it 3 times. And say this guy, you have to have him for this new void thing that if it ever opens up, like whatever it is, new content, you know, whatever it may be. So I don't know. I just go for them all. On both of my accounts, free to play has had no problem doing it for almost a year now. And my main account, like if I'm in trouble, obviously I can grab some extra energy or a shard or something. So I just go for them, and if they stink, they stink. But you know, maybe you get something you pull something along the way that helps you out. Maybe he does become really good. Maybe there's a nerf. Maybe there's a buff. Whatever. So I go for them all. It's a free, not a free Lego, but it's a Lego you can earn without having to, worry about having to get that champ in the future, basically.
Okay. So the FOMO is real, and the gotta catch 'em all mentality is it? It's like we're playing
always
a more adult version of Pokemon, right? Yeah, that's the best way to say it. Short of just like driving around with my phone and trying to figure out like where to catch this guy. I mean, it's basically the same thing, right? PJ, what about you, man? What's your community thinking?
Yeah, it seems pretty split. Pretty 50-50. Personally, I'm going for him. I think he's pretty solid. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, I have Mithrala, so I don't need a Hexer. I mean, you have 3 different Hydra teams. It's not like you just need one Hexer, you need multiple. Another thing is with Siege, he's not necessarily a PvP champion, but he could be decent in Siege. Maybe he ignores Shield. It's going to be a lot more conditions in Siege, so maybe he hits decently hard. He's ignoring defense if he's pushing Hex. Obviously, you have like the Polymorph. Also, in Cursed City, he's I think he's gonna be available for S14, which is a pretty tough room. I'm struggling on that one right now. I think I have enough champions now to beat it, but that's a pretty annoying one. So he's gonna be good there for if you're a more late endgame player trying to beat Cursed City. He'll be good for you there. Yeah, I think he's very good for early mid game Hydra. And I think a lot of people recently have been getting like Player's been doing really, really good fusions so far this year, and I think a lot of people are like comparing every fusion to like Nut and Armand's, and if you're gonna do that, then like you might as well never do a fusion again, because I mean it's gonna be hard to get anywhere close to like how good they are. So I think he's a pretty solid champion.
I agree with that one. You know, we got to look at it this way. We can't look at every fusion being like a Armand's Brogni type level fusion. There's going to be some of them that come by that are not going to be great, but you just don't know what's going to happen, right? It definitely feels like there's a lot of comparisons to like, oh, well, this guy is crap compared to the last one we did, you know, so why should I do him? Well, you know, again, just to your point, there's 3 teams you got to build out for Hydra, and if you have a Hex champion in each one of them that can do damage, that's going to be a little bit easier, right? I do want to ask you guys here. We have this guy on the first question. This fusion is not interesting to me, but will we get a legendary version of Armiger? Do you guys think we'll get a legendary version of Armiger? Or have we already got one? Ken?
Septimus, but he's very bad. Like, I don't know, like, do we need like legendary version of him? I mean, enemy max HP champion already, you know, like really bad on these days. Very, very end-game perspective.
Okay. Let's go to PJ next.
I mean, there's, I guess, kind of already legendary version of him, just like the enemy max HP champions. They don't have like the block revive. I mean, that's pretty similar to him. Enemy max HP, turn meter on the A1. Also, I have a question for you guys. Do you think they should raise the enemy max HP cap to make them more viable?
Oh, yeah.
Have we talked about this?
We're definitely going to be talking about this on the next part of the segment that's going to be coming up for Hydra. Okay. But yeah.
Not bad. Skipping ahead.
We got all our answers, so.
Yeah.
But as far as the legendary version, I mean, they could. I mean, they did like a Ultimate Death Knight version. Like, they have a common version. Maybe in the future they do a
decreased turn meter on the A1, enemy max HP hit on the A2 on a, what is it, on a 2-turn cooldown, I think it is? 3-turn cooldown?
Yeah.
Something like that.
He's pretty broken.
He's really good.
Yeah. Okay, Gestal, what about you? What do you think?
Well, I think PJ, I think he's pretty close to Newt, right? With the decreased turn meter and enemy max HP. I guess you're just missing with block revive, but yeah, I would say Newt's probably the closest thing we have to him. But if they were to make an ultimate version of him, like an ultimate Death Knight, I guess I wasn't thinking of it that way. That'd be cool. There's certainly a bunch of champs out there that could do that with.
Okay, maybe the next login champion we get will be an ultimate Armiger. Who knows? Maybe. All right, so we do got a question posed to us here by Heavy Robot. Let me find it here. Which dungeon, including hard modes and Doom Tower bosses, would be very annoying combo to face in any content? That is an interesting question.
Versus city bosses.
I was just
Bommel
thinking about that.
and Dark Fae.
Okay, yeah. All right. I could get behind that. Bommel and Dark Fae. I think if that was to happen together, that'd be pretty difficult. We have, we've got Fire Knight and Eternal Dragon. Yeah. All right, Ken, what do you think, man?
Dark Fae and Fire Knight. Hard.
Dark Fae and Fire Knight hard. Okay. That is a deadly combination right there. I think
it's one or the other.
I got one. Wait.
Okay. What do you got, PJ?
Scarab has been kind of annoying. Scarab and maybe Fire Knight hard.
Scarab and Fire Knight hard. Okay. And Gestal, you're going with Bommel and Dark Fae?
Yeah, I think that's pretty annoying.
I'm gonna go with Bommel and hard Ice Golem.
I didn't even think about Sandevil and Phantom.
So there we go. We got Phantom Shogun and Sandevil together. Oh, that would be gruesome.
Dark Fae and Dark Fae.
I didn't think about those.
Listen, I feel like we probably just gave Plarium a whole bunch of ideas here.
Yeah.
So, moving on.
Next question. Cut the bar.
Moving on. Let's talk a little bit about the Hydra. And, I mean, we've had a lot of meta comps, right? We had the Cadaver comp that got creamed to the, to the ground. We've had the what was it, Madman. We now have the Yannicka, Wixwell. We've got the Trunda.
Aislinn.
Yep, we got the Aislinn. I love how you just had to throw that combo that I throw out there. I don't want them to
Aislinn,
Ironclad. But we have a lot of these combinations for Hydra Clash. Now, they nerfed 2 of the comps because according to them, it did not work as intended. Looking at Hydra, we have, to PJ's point a little bit earlier, enemy max HP hitters are capped at 10% unless you get like a Newt who has a triple hitter, or a Krizia that's got a double hitter, or even Marius that's got the triple hitter. They're kind of capped at how much damage they can do. My first question to you is going to be, should these comps that are doing billions and billions of damage be nerfed? Let's go to Ken first.
Yes.
Okay. Gestal?
Yeah, I've been calling for the Trunda nerf for a long time. Or not, it doesn't have to necessarily be a Trunda nerf, but a way to make it where she is not 100 times better than everybody else.
Okay. PJ?
A Trunda rebalance.
Well, they could do something on the boss side that would prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be
True.
the other option, right?
True,
So
true.
whatever they got to do, right? Whatever
Yeah,
you got to
no,
do to make
yeah,
it
they gotta
better.
do something.
I don't know whatever angle you take it.
Yeah.
So my
Agreed.
take might not be as hot, but I feel like I don't think nerfing those comps, nerfing the Cadaver comp, nerfing the Madman comp was good. Because again, now we have one team that is super powerful towards Hydra. We have other ones that can do some damage. Like I think my Aislinn comp, looking at it, the max that I've done on Nightmare was like almost shy of 6 billion. I think the highest one I've seen was 11 billion points. But you got Trunda comps that are doing like 30 million on Nightmare prior to their, multiplier. I don't think nerfing the compositions is good. And here's my thought about this, because I feel like if we have... Oh, thank you to whoever just completed that sponsor. I appreciate you. I totally forgot that I still had that on. But we have these compositions, and if we're locked into only being able to use these compositions, I think it's a bad idea. Going back to when I played World of Warcraft, there wasn't a single meta class or champion that you had to play. They were pretty balanced. Yes, there was some that were a little stronger than anything else, but you had multiple options. So, Ken, back to you. You say you want it to be nerfed. Now, do you feel like all the compositions should be nerfed and, there should be an evil playing field, or is it just the Trunda comp specifically?
I mean, all of them, all of the broken one. I would like to say, because like their number, like you can't even reach their number with normal comp. That's the problem. Like there is no competition. If somebody with Trunda, my friend has a Trunda comp, he got like 80 billion damage on the Nightmare.
Okay.
This is without Clash multiplier. 80 billion. How we are going to reach that?
Okay.
Even like Toshiro probably, which is the mythical, I believe he still cannot go like even close to that, Which is Toshiro for me is the okay, because he's mythical, like I said. There is a tier list on this game, so
Okay.
But same for the Vixville, Vixville comp is harder than Trunda in my opinion. Yeah, Trunda comp need a lot of setup to be perfect, like Shuza and W Meko. But you can still use the Trunda comp, Maybe you cannot reach 80 billion, but you can still do like, I don't know, 10 billion, 20 billion, still very, very high numbers. Like, you cannot go these numbers with any other champion, Use like 5 Yannicka, my bad. Okay, yeah, we have a 6 champion, right, on Hydra? Yeah, use 5 Yannicka and the 1 champion, Yumeko, I mean, not Yannicka. There is no way you can reach the Trunda number. Like, doesn't matter how many Yumeko you play in. The problem is not the Yumeko, the problem is the Trunda. Not only Trunda comp to this, same for the Vixville comp, same for Aislinn comp, I believe we are using, so... I don't know that comp that well, but yeah.
Okay. Gestal, same question posed to you.
Yeah. I feel like you have to... if it's not working as intended, now I don't know if this is necessarily working as intended or not. Obviously, the way it was set up, that's what was happening, right? With the Culprit Aver one, with now with Trunda or whatever. I don't feel like that's intended. Like just between my teams, I do Trunda on hard, and I could probably do 20 billion. And if I really wanted to push it and like gear up some other champs and get lucky on some protection uh accessories, I could probably get that up to like 50 billion. My best team, it does basically a billion on Nightmare.
Okay.
That's like 10 times less. That's ridiculous in terms of clash points, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's ridiculous, and that's like top gear, you know, with my Krisk and like my bet going like 330 speed and a curse set. That's a Krizia. That's 1.5 million A1s coming from a Harima on Deadheads. Like it's a and like all built to the nines.
Mm-hmm.
My Trunda is okay. My Trunda, but the rest of them are built like trash. I have my Yumis. I have to basically take all the gear off to get them down to 219 or whatever the numbers are to run that Trunda comp. Like it's absurd. It's absurd. It's funny to watch, but it's absurd. And what I've been doing lately, just to make sure we get first every time for my clan, because I'm not in like a super hardcore clan. I wait till Tuesday night and I see whatever number I need to get. And I've been slowly going from 4 billion to 5 billion to
Damn.
6 billion. And I can slowly work my way up to, if I don't change anything, to 20 billion. And I will make sure we come in first every single time. That's ridiculous.
Wow.
So, to all the people who don't think it needs to be nerfed, fine, whatever, don't nerf it. I'm gonna keep getting first place anytime I face you. Like,
Yeah,
it's stupid. It's stupid. It's outrageous. So,
guess it's like
whatever. I'm fine with keeping it. But it's not. It doesn't make sense. It's not like, I don't think that's what they intended it to be. Frankly.
Okay.
And Trunda's old school, right? Like that code's so old. And Hydra was like not even. They probably just whatever. Maybe Hydra was a thought. Who knows? But they didn't anticipate this. There's no way.
That is true. When Trunda came out, Hydra was not even a thought, or maybe it was. It's just not as early as what they had. But Gestal, you got Luke Skywalker that's asking here, where can you sign up for your clan?
You want to join? You need some first places.
PJ, same question posed to you, brother.
Yeah, so in my mind, like Mythical should be the top end damage dealer here. So like Toshiro should be like number one. I mean, Garo should be up there. Obviously, maybe Void Legendaries. Some like Legendaries too should do good damage. But the gap of how much damage more they're doing is too much in my opinion. And like you said, you're talking about like leaving the other comps in, but if they rebalance these comps, then you would also have more like a lot more variety. Even the Yannicka comp, I wish they would get rid of. It's not as bad as Trunda, definitely not as bad, but still, I like it's. I've been noticing recently, and I've been thinking about doing the Yannicka comp. I run a Trunda team, and it's just really depressing to me, like putting all these really good Hydra champions, and like not in the vault, but like not using them in Hydra anymore. Just because I have to like get an extra couple billion with like a cheese team. But it's if you're trying to win, it's kind of worth it. So I've been debating it. I'm thinking I'm gonna wait till I see what they do with the changes before I swap and do the Yannicka team. But just like thinking about it and moving like these Hydra champions away is kind of sad to me.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up of bolting some of these Hydra champions, because we do have champions, as you guys can see here, a Krizia, right? Who prior to, I want to say, Hydra Clash was one of the most sought after champions because she was just so powerful. Enemy max HP, multiple hitters, and she was basically a must have for Hydra. Now, I feel like she's been power crept, and putting her in kind of hurts my team, then helps it at the stage where I'm at. Not where everybody is in the community, but at the stage where I'm at, I have champions that are on their A1s like Ninja hitting for 1,000,000 damage. Yeah, I saw that, PJ. Oh, I thought you were.
That was itchy.
But you have champions like Ninja that are coming in with their A1 hitting for 1,000,000, and I think like the highest I've been able to get on the enemy max HP on one particular head is 415,000 damage. So with that in question, I support having a rebalance, but I don't think nerfing compositions, I think balancing them out so we can have more meta compositions would be it. Now, to the enemy max HP hitters, where PJ touched on a little bit earlier, they're capped at a 10%. Is it about time that TELERIA remove that 10% because the damage they put is so minuscule compared to some other champions? Ken?
Remove probably gonna be too powerful.
You think so? You think removing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, remove gonna be bad. So maybe 20%, like double their number, can be nice start.
Okay.
But removing them, I mean, how much HP Hydra have, Nightmare?
Well, let's take a look. Let's go to hellhades.com. Right? And then let's look at or actually, Gestal, do you have that on your site? The Hydra? No? Okay. So then let's go to, where would we find it? Hydra.
Right. Isn't it stage tools? Rage stage tools?
Rage stage tools, yep. Okay. So encounter type, we're looking for Hydra. Doesn't really matter on rotation. Select Nightmare. Okay, so highest one is 5,000,000 points. So based on the enemy max HP, how much would they hit, right? Depending on how much crit damage. Let's go, I believe, looking at the kits here.
Well, they are not gonna hit hard as the Trunda.
Well, no,
so,
but
because maximum HP is 5,000,000. I guess it's not that bad, but they definitely should be keep it on the dungeon wise, because otherwise, like people definitely can one shot some dungeon bosses, you know, like old Spider 20, you know, Spider 25 has a max HP limit, but 20 doesn't have it, and people was one shotting with the Septimus, you know, back in the day. That's the only time when people was using Septimus, not anymore. But yeah, like they at least double, I would like to say, in a max HP champion. I mean, that's the real problem. I mean, here is the real problem, guys. Why any max HP champion bad right now? They didn't change anything on them. They just added new content on the game, which is called the Live Arena Great Hall. No. So Live Arena Great Hall give us 20% ignore defense on the Hydra when you max it. So basically, like any DPS champion you have, hitting harder than any max HP champion, because they have a 20% ignore defense. They already have like Ham Smasher, you know. They probably have a Savage or the Little Gear, or we have a Merciless now, which is 35% ignore defense. They almost have like 100% ignore defense now. Yeah. And with the Master, BLAZIN as well, like especially Creation Rand, there is also 31% ignore defense. And yeah, it's totally normal. They are hitting more than any max HP champion because they don't have a limit. Maybe they can put a limit on the DPS champion. Maybe this is how they can stop the Trunda as well. This is one of my idea actually. Like, you know, they can put normal damage limit on the Hydra passive skill. You know, like your damage cannot be like 1 billion, you know, from single attack. Something like that. Maybe that can help. You know, they don't have to touch the Trunda at all.
Okay. Gestal, same question to you. Do you think enemy max HP cap should be raised for Hydra?
I mean, I guess it all depends on the direction they're going to go with Trunda, right? I saw Mr. Mink said in chat, I think it was Mr. Mink. Someone said you don't want to balance the game from the bottom up. It's easier to kind of do it from the top down, right? If there's one major outlining thing that in any good business, like that's what you're gonna fix, right? You're not gonna try and fix like 20, 30 other champs to bring them up to that. That said, they could use a little help, based on numbers we're seeing. Like I probably should take a Crizzy out. Like I just run my nightmares on full auto. Like I'm not like really pushing crazy damage on it. But like if I wanted to maximize my damage, I'd probably take her out right now. Like she's probably hindering my team. And that's weird, right? Like she should be really good. She should probably be top DPS, if not for mythical should be above her, right? But she should probably be damn near top DPS, and she's consistent. She's very consistent, but she's not top DPS anymore by any means. So whatever. If they could buff it a bit, I don't think that's a bad thing to look at all. And it would help. It would help the RGs. It would help the Husks. Like it would help a lot of different champs, not just a Charizia, right? So I think it's a good thing to look at for sure.
And I mean, again, we're just talking about Hydra. We're not talking about other dungeons in the game. And I think to Ken's point, the more I keep looking at this, okay, so they could do 1 million damage on the Head of Suffering, which wouldn't be bad, right? At 5 million. Again, she's a Void Legendary, and it's supposed to be one of the most sought out champions. So, PJ, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely think they should raise it in Hydra. Both of Ken and Gestal make great points. Especially with the area bonus coming in, that doesn't really help enemy max HP at all, and it just gives a huge boost to non-enemy max HP. So I'm not sure if they really thought of that ahead of how like big of a power creep that will be to enemy max HP. Also, I would check out Marius in Acrisia's spot. He would, I think, do more damage than her in your Hydra team, depending on your Marius build.
He's not. He's kind of more supporty, but builds for champs now.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, because the way it is set up, you don't need as much crit damage as long as you have the decreased defense and weaken on. So, again, to PJ's point, I think you might want to look into that. But go ahead, PJ. Sorry.
No, yeah. I just think that it would help a lot with getting more champions and meta teams again. And we're not talking about like absolutely killing Trunda, making her non-viable ever again. We just want her to be in line with like everyone else. But yeah, I think that would be a nice start to helping other champions become better again. Like again, Acrisia, I also took her out of my Hydra team. I tried Marius. Marius did better, and then I'm also trying Teox instead of Marius, swapping that in and out, and that did a little bit better this week. So again, yeah, getting away from the enemy max HP and just going straight damage is the way to go if you have good enough gear and the area bonus, the Great Hall to do it.
Okay. And again, that's, on the main account, that's exactly what it is I have all of the enemy max HP hitters, and I find myself really saying they're kind of vaulted, and I can't use them because I will hurt, I'll hurt my damage overall. I'll hurt my score, right? Again, back to the point of Ninja on his A1 built over time is going to hit for 1 million damage.
I got an idea on the Trunda nerf.
Okay.
Make her in a max HP hitter.
Okay. So I don't know if I think it should be an enemy max HP hit, but I do think we should have a cap on all damage dealers on how much they could hit per hit. Now the question is, and I want to pose this to chat as well too, what do you guys think would be a ideal number for the cap damage that could be done on a single blow, whether it's an A3, A2, A1. I wanna see, you know, I have a feeling of what the number might be, but Ken, where would you stand on what the highest hitting damage should be on a single Hydra head?
That's a hard question, man. You know, because if you lower this number a lot, then every one of us damage gonna be same, right? On the end game clans.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really hard, actually. I don't know.
Okay. So
Let's say maybe 50 million.
50 million on a single hit?
Yeah.
On a single hit. So if my ninja hits with his A1, he should be able to hit up to 50
I mean,
million?
single hit, like it could be like AU attack as well, right?
AoE attack, yeah. Per head,
Yeah,
though.
like,
So per head, there would be a cap on how much
per
each...
head. No,
Yes.
I'm talking about total number, like 50
Yeah,
million total number.
No. So what I'm asking is, you know, let's say we did Varl's A3, right? And it hit every single head. What is the damage that it should be capped at? Should it be capped at 500,000, 800,000, a million, 2 million, 3 million?
I don't 20 million for each of them. Bro, just divide 50 million to the 4, man. You got your answer.
So you
My
think
mathematics.
each Hydra head
So about 12.
should be hit for 12
12.
million, which is about
Yeah.
anywhere from 2 to 3 times more than the amount of damage or the amount of HP they have.
Yeah.
Okay?
This is, you are gonna one-shot them, so.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let me ask you now, because you just put that in. Doesn't Trunda already do that? And then
No,
why we
Trunda is surplus the damage, bro. Like, it's dealing billion damage from single hit.
Okay.
Like, billion versus 50 million, I'm talking.
Okay. Okay. So you're capping.
Yeah, Trunda A2 skill has some weird coding, you know? That's why, like, his multiplier the her damage.
Okay.
So, like, it's going too high.
Fair.
Plus, Trunda can still one-shot the head when they respawn, right? Because when the head is respawn, they have a special buff. They have an insane damage reduction. I don't think there is a loss of champion can do that beside the Trunda. When the head is reborn,
Mhm.
you cannot one-shot them that easily.
Correct. I think they take a 90%
Maybe Toshiro
damage.
can do that, but again, like, he's a mythical, you know, so...
Yeah, I think they take a 90% damage reduction.
yeah, like, Trunda still can pop
Cadaver
them.
could do
Doesn't
it.
matter.
Cadaver could do it.
Yeah, I mean, Cadaver is, GG now.
So can the Aisling composition, because it hits for a couple of billion per head. But okay, so you're saying 50 million. Let's go to Gestal.
Yeah, 50 million total number. Yeah, total.
Total number. Okay, so about 12 million per head is an average. Gestal, what do you think?
Yeah, that is a tough one. I feel like it's a number you don't want to place, right? Because I mean, what are we gonna be looking at here in the future? I mean, I guess if this number could change as you know, let's say they come out with a harder, like a Ultra Nightmare or whatever, you're gonna want to be able to hit more. So, but I guess where it is right now, I would say Kenpachi's number is not a bad one.
50
I'd
million?
I'd say that's pretty good.
Okay, so an AoE
You know,
50
10 million per 40 million, if you know, whatever. Maybe 10 million is a good number. I'm not sure that's something they like. I don't think that's what they have to fix, right? I don't think they have to set a fixed number there. Like, I think the fix has to come. Like Trunda, like her that A2 is ridiculous.
Okay.
So, like, that's where the fix has to come. Like, why start capping stuff? Like, we're dancing around the problem.
So let me ask you this then. You know, obviously we have a community that is very intelligent in the compositions that we can come up with, right? Obviously, going from the Wixwell to Cadaver and everything. Would that kind of say, okay, well, there's no need for you to come up with these stupid, crazy comps because each hit is only going to hit so hard. That's it. You're not going to be able to get that billion surplus damage. So maybe it would prevent other compositions down the line of coming out and being so crazy. Because, again, if they nerf Trunda, right, or rebalance, as we say, what's the next champion going to be? Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of them out there that are going to come out and be absolute broken, right? So back to you, Gestal. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thought, right? Like, I could see both sides. The current state, it makes perfect sense. That does fix the Trunda problem. But I just feel like it's in the future, it would just be another hurdle we may have to overcome. But whatever, like, that could be 10 years away, and who knows if this game would last that long. So it's yeah, I think it's a good thought. I'm on the other side of it, I guess.
Okay.
I feel like so really here's the thing, and there's been a lot of this is all about Hydra Clash. Before Hydra Clash, nobody cared about how much damage you were doing. Like, some guys were having fun with it, right? But like, nobody was putting these teams together and working 3 hours, 4 hours a week on their Hydra runs. So this is all about Hydra Clash. I think that's the place to start. A lot of people have talked about, instead of 1,500 turns, doing 750 or 500 turns. Like, there's other, like, I think maybe that's the first place to start. Look at Hydra Clash, then worry about Trunda, then worry about all the other balances. But yeah, whatever. I digress.
Okay. Let's hope that PJ remembers the question. Same question to you, brother.
Yeah, so my initial thoughts were putting a cap on it would be good, but then Ken said something really interesting and it kind of changed my thoughts. So he said if they put a cap and if they don't change how Trunda works, then everyone is just going to be like the same score pretty much. They'll be hitting the cap with Trunda, and then everyone would have the same exact scores pretty much. And no other champion is going to be like, and the question is like theoretical, how much would be max damage? We're not saying everyone's going to be hitting for 10 million. This would be if you have like the very best gear, like super end game, max would be hitting like ninjas are like Zero Brew is like a 6-star ninja. He's hitting for 2.5 on the A1. So I mean, it would be really hard to get that high. So I still think even if they put a cap on it, it would still be. I don't think it would fix anything. It would still be Trunda hitting the cap and then everyone just being like the same. I think it would be, which is weird because I thought of the opposite. I thought at first I would like a cap, but I think now it wouldn't work actually.
Okay. And just to put it in perspective, a Ninja's A1 on Zero Brew's account will one-shot the Head of Mischief at 2.4 million damage. So yeah, I do want to know what you did feed or how many nobles you did feed into your ninja.
It was probably doing 0. Is that happening on a dead head? I don't think that's probably happening on any of the live heads.
But yeah, I would definitely love to know. Let me take a second here and address the question about Jay. Jay's recently going to be taking on a second job, so he's not going to be streaming as much on his own. And until he kind of gets his schedule figured out, he may not be joining us on the podcast all the time as he's been. So he's got to get some IRL stuff first, right? Unfortunately, real life for some of us, myself, I let real life sometimes take a little too much control from me, and I forget that raid is life. But to Guest's point now, I want to talk about the Hydra Clash, because you said Hydra Clash should be where we need to look at it, and I know that we've had discussions about this in the past, where things that they could change to make Hydra Clash a little more even, and that pretty much never went anywhere. No, I don't think anybody pushed it after that. I think it just kind of stayed, and they were just nerfing the compositions. So back onto that subject, let's talk about, should they actually not nerf Trunda and look back at making sure that Hydra Clash, the reward system, the the way that this is set up is what basically takes priority, and leaving the meta teams and all that stuff be as is. Ken, what do you think? Should they just focus more on doing and setting up Hydra Clash itself as a more balanced game mode over nerfing the compositions?
I mean, if they can fix the matchmaking system, if the Trunda abuser facing another Trunda abuser, like I'm okay with that. They can leave the Trunda alone, But
Okay.
matchmaking system on this game is too easy to abuse, Same here, same on the Siege, same on the CVC.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, to be honest, like I really don't give a too much about Trunda. I really want to spend less time on the Hydra. That's what I want. Which is, I have a couple of advice to Pilarium. I hope they are listening. I also made a video before. But if they reduce the turn limit on the Hydra, or they add a 3x speed option on the Hydra, I think this can help us a lot. Like that's what I'm thinking. Like why we are fighting 1,500 turn? Like if the enemy is a Trunda comp already, doesn't matter it's a 1,000 turn or 500 turn, right? He's still gonna beat you. So why we fight it that long? Like just reduce the turn limit, in my opinion.
Okay, so you're saying reduce the turn limit and that could solve the problem. Gestal,
I mean, not solve the problem, but my problem is the spending too much time on the Hydra, so at least it can help that.
Okay. Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, well, like I stated earlier, Hydra Clash is the problem. That's where I think we all suspected that. I think it was first pushed to. Oh man, why can't I think of his name? The clan boss, Mullet Reaver.
Mullet Reaver.
Yeah, haven't seen Mullet in a while, man. Come on back, Mullet.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I think it was kind of posed to him, like, can you, and this was like way when Hydra just first started, could you take your your Demon Lord team and bring it over, and would it do the same thing in Hydra? And we're like, well, we don't think it'll work. Or he was saying, I think originally, I may be, tell me I'm wrong, I might be wrong, but yeah, they have that mechanic where they take a lot reduced damage at the beginning, their first turn, and when they come back, and it probably might not work, and then you made it work, right? Like we saw that you build up enough shield, who cares? It was just completely ignoring everything, and then and then the rest was history, right? So and then Hydra Clash comes out, and they had that working, and then people were like, well, Trunda's A2's kind of broken, it's coded weird. Let's try that. And then, Yumi came out, like the double Yumi with Trunda, and, the rest is history there as well. We'll introduce that with Hydra Clash, where it really matters. It really matters how much points you're putting out there because you want to win. So that's where the problem came. Like it was all fun and games and great content for YouTube, going for top damage. And I love the whole Mullet versus Victor TES. Like that stuff was great.
Yes.
But now, and it didn't matter in Demon Lord, right? Demon Lord, it's always just been for fun because you're basically just trying to hit a number with your clan and fine. But yeah, again, right. So we're back on the Hydra Clash. It makes a difference when it's PvP versus PvE. So could they adjust it? Like I know Nacho had and a couple others. Maybe it was Mullet Reaver who initially brought it up, that they could somehow, like a point system based on how many points you did, so you would get like points, and like I don't think I really understood how that worked, but everyone seemed to think it was a good idea. All the math heads seemed to think that was a good idea.
So I think what they were trying to do with that is basically be awarded a number, right? So if you did the top damage, you would get like 4 points or 3 points or something like that to where you kind of fit in. So it wasn't the points or the damage you did on Hydra that was taken into account, it was where you fit on the scale.
Yeah. So that's that sounds interesting, right? That would change things up. You just hit your mark on the scale and done. Like you could do that at turn 200, maybe. Some people. Yeah, the other thing would be reduce the turn count. That would save a tremendous amount of time. Like I said, like I gave up trying to do like perfect teams every time because I had to do it every week, man. I'm not doing this every week. It's ridiculous. I don't like doing it for one team, I have to do it. I have to do it for one team at least, just to make sure my numbers are okay on the Trunda comp, and I have to stop it at a certain point. But it's too much work a week, man. I mean, it's an hour and a half run if you're like really doing it. Like, I mean, there's people who are probably people that can do it quicker than me, but I do it when I stream, right? So it's I can sit here and kind of BS with people as we're kind of going through it, but that makes it a little bit easier on me. I can't imagine if you're just sitting at home alone playing the game and you have to hit like every single thing for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. That's, I don't know. It seems like a lot.
Well, I was, so this is the team that I run, and it basically takes about 20 minutes to hit the max damage, depending on the shield composition and stuff like that. Like I can't, even if I was to let it run to 1500 turns, the damage isn't going to become that much more, right? So you can see 20 minutes here, I'm doing about 3.9 billion damage on average. Sorry, I'm all I'm hearing is really loud thunder, and then my dog just walks right in and lays right next to my legs because she's scared of the thunder.
Oh.
But yeah, it's definitely. I remember the compositions for Corpulent Cadaver, which would take like an hour and a half if you were lucky. It would be a little auto-friendly once you got it set up, but it's definitely kind of time consuming. PJ, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, they could definitely adjust the point system, how it works. They could lower the turn count. I think a lot of people would like that. I still think that Trunda and these cheese comps are an issue, though. I know I mentioned this earlier, but personally, I think it's just a shame that we're losing all these like meant for Hydra champions that are really, really good to these cheese comps. I think it's really bad for the game. I don't think it's good for game design. Yeah, so I would definitely like them to. I mean, if changing how the clan or the clash worked and that changed the Trunda and these teams, then sure. But yeah, they gotta do something to get these teams back in line with the rest of the game because they're just not even in the same universe.
Okay. So we've had some ideas thrown around about, they could cap the turn limit, they could cap. What about capping the time frame, right? What about capping, let's say you got 30 minutes. After the 30 minutes, a pop-up window says, do you wish to continue? Anything else after this will not count towards your Hydra Clash points. Do you think something like that would work, capping how much time you can spend in the game mode? Ken?
Yeah, like I said earlier, like that will be amazing, man. Because I don't think anybody, even the people who use Trunda, is happy about that. Like the amount of the time they are spending on the Hydra. So
okay,
I mean, I would like to see that. Like, why 1,500 turn? Just make it like 1,000. Or even lower, 750.
Okay, Gestal, what do you think? Do you think maybe going with a time frame over the turn limit would be a better idea?
I'm fine with that. I guess that would, mean you're just trying to pour out more damage quicker.
And again, this is just for
so
Hydra
that could change up
Clash.
comps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it would make a difference, right? Like that might make a difference if you run it on auto or if you're manualing it, and then it becomes if you probably go to manualing it, right? And that's gonna like you would have to have. Like I'm total ADD, man. Like I could take 10 minutes in between a turn. Like you just have to be much more focused. But I don't know, what would that time limit be, man? You got my attention for about 10 minutes sometimes.
Okay.
We talking 10 minutes, 30 minutes? What we got?
Let's say 30 minutes. Let's say 30 minutes. The damage that gets put onto your team in a 30-minute timer is what gets awarded towards the Hydra Clash points. not the
I
key
would definitely
itself,
make it more interesting.
right?
It would make it more interesting than a turn count. It would make it more of a almost like a Twitch-based game.
Mhm.
Because you'd want to pump out the damage in 30 minutes as opposed to 1,500 turns.
Yeah, and I'm
So it's
looking.
interesting. I don't know how well received that would be. Like this game's very almost. I feel like very hands off. Like they teach you to run things on auto, right?
Mhm.
Like I feel like it's kind of like one of those games where it's supposed to run on auto. Obviously when you're min maxing, that's not the case, but it would make it interesting. It'd make it interesting.
Okay. I'm looking at a lot of messages here. Like, no. Perfect example being this team. It did, 3.9 billion damage in 21 minutes. I'm curious as to how many of you guys out there are running the Hydra composition, and what kind of damage can you do in a 20 to 30 minute time frame? PJ, what are your thoughts? Time frame, 30 minutes. Could that work? Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm looking at chat a lot. I see a lot of interesting ideas and things. One thing I did see was it hurts Shamel a lot, or just counterattack teams. I think a turn limit would be better. I don't know. I feel like the time limit, it's mobiles, you're gonna be hurt, slower animations, a little bit laggier. A lot of times you do get distracted. I mean, you don't always click the pause, so your time's gonna be running, and then you're like, oh my god, there goes 5 minutes just like that. Turn limit, I could see being interesting. Time limit, I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, I think there's valid points to both having a turn limit and time limit. Maybe they could do both of them. That could be just an extra one. But let me ask you guys now, on the damage side of it, right? These compositions, do you think that if the Trunda composition was to get nerfed, the player base wouldn't just find another champion that could do the same thing? Could we replace, let's say, if they took Trundas down, what if they put in Varl? Because I know Varl on the A3 for, because I think that's an AoE if I'm not mistaken, correct?
His A3 is an A1. His A2 is an AoE.
His A2, sorry. His A2, when I was speaking with 4O, he was telling me that his A3 hits almost 3 million per head. Could they just replace that and have a different champion, right? Could we be having that issue? Could we put in an Acrizia? Granted, an Acrizia is capped at how much damage. Would that actually solve the issue? Ken?
I mean, bro, like you are talking about 3 million per head versus 20 million per head. I mean, per damage.
Fair, but all I'm doing is I'm just swapping out a damage dealer, and that's still going to, that 3 million per head is going to be 12 million per turn.
I mean, VAR is, everybody can get the VAR too. There is another thing, like it's a Doom Tower champion. Everybody can get him.
Okay.
Yeah, of course there is gonna be like, if they nerf the Vixville, if they nerf the Trunda, Yannicka, whatever, the broken comps right now, of course there is always gonna be one team stronger, but the point is, right now, like, I'm end game player, right? I'm not super, ultra super end game or the whale, but bro, I can't even do 1 billion right now on the Nightmare. Like, I have a very strong team,
What are you running?
I mean, 1 million, 1 million. Yeah, did I say million or billion?
Billion.
Okay, I cannot do like 1 million. Maybe I can do it now. I got a Sufrion now. Didn't try it yet. But maximum I got like close to 700 million. At least, like, let's say like you have a very strong team. What was your team, like 3 billion? That's your
3.9 billion, yep.
Yeah, okay, I would like to say, okay, man, he got 3 billion, I got the 700k or the 1 million, Actually, still, there is a huge gap, but at least it's not like 80 billion versus, 3 million. At least I would like to say, maybe I can catch him one day, I don't know.
Okay.
Like, because the other one is impossible to reach. Like,
what about putting a damage cap on how much your Hydra Clash score could be? Would that be a better solution as opposed to, nerfing any sort of composition? Could that be a better thing? Chat, let us know. What do you guys think? would you be happy of saying, you know what, the highest key that anybody can get in any sort of clash or any sort of difficulty should be set at, like, let's say 1 billion or 2 billion? PJ, I'm going to throw this to you first.
No, I don't really like caps, because then you, at least for score, you kind of get not the wrong ideas of player, but I feel like for the player base, you want to try to like keep going, get better. If
Mhm.
get people that hit caps, then you kind of get stagnant, and the game kind of can feel stale and like nothing to like get better for or grind for. So I'd probably say I'd rather not.
Okay, so you're not so no caps on how much damage each key can produce. Gestal, what about you?
Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, they're all kind of like doing the same thing, right? Like you could really do any of them, and it's it's kind of like I honestly almost felt like that's how it was gonna be. Like 650 million, you get that top chest, and that's the end. But what if everybody gets that?
Okay.
How do you have a winner then? So yeah, I don't think that way would work, actually.
Okay. Ken, what about you?
I don't understand your question. Can you repeat it, please?
Okay, so let's say each key can only do a certain amount of damage, right? So by the end of it, you could have a Trunda composition. You could try to run the Trunda composition to 20 billion points, but you're only going to get a top reward for 1 billion damage per that key. So it would basically incentivize people not to have to run these crazy time frames.
I mean, but there is a competition. Like you still need to beat the enemy clan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Then they are gonna still use the Trunda comp.
Okay. So
nothing gonna change. So
what if we now take this damage that you could do, and we start putting in turn limits? Whichever team got with the lowest turn limit to that damage first gets a better point. Now say
I mean, Trunda team's still gonna be strong there because she can start one-shotting beginning of the game. If you have a perfect Trunda comp.
To my thinking, that still would be fine because it's still only 1 billion damage. So we would be looking for champions that could get to that composition a little more or a little faster, right? That would make other champions like the Wixwell composition and all that kind of stuff be on the same par. At least I would think. No?
No, it's not going to work on the Trunda, but can fix the problem with the Wixwell, like you said. But Trunda beginning of the game is just start doing like billion numbers, man. So
okay. Gestal, now adding the fact that, we have the billion damage, that's about as high as you can get. And then we bring in the turn counter on how much, the lowest turn counter gets more points. What do you think? Would that work?
So like a whole revamped scoring system?
So basically going into Hydra Clash and saying, okay, each person here gets 1 billion damage, but this guy got it in 800 turns, this guy got it in 100 turns. So, combined together, the team that has the lowest turns, right, or the clan that has the lowest turns wins.
It's still going to be like the Trunda comps, though, right?
It could very well be the Trunda comps. It could very well be like the Aislinn comp. I think I get my damage off in about 155 turns for 3.9 billion.
But we're still like, I don't know, we're still dealing with cheese comps. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm a purist, man. Like, I feel like if we're gonna do this, let's have like a real competition. Let's go toe to toe with actual damage. I don't want to be in a boxing ring against a dude with like metal in his gloves, right? Like, I want to be able to fight him fair.
Okay,
But
but
I feel like
but
this
hold,
is
hold,
just
hold
like
on.
workarounds to keep the cheese. Like,
I
let's get rid of the cheese, man.
how are you going to respond to this though? Because you do whatever it takes to make sure your clan comes in number one with
Bro,
that
but because that's the only way I could get these stupid artifacts, man. And here's real reason. We used to have some ballers in our clan. We had like Nas, we had Handy, we had a couple other big accounts that like wanted to step it down. So my Hydra Clash was, and then they all like a bunch of them went on to bigger clans, and we were stuck having to come down the ranks of losing to people that were doing numbers way above our heads with like our current clan. So there was a good 3 or 4 months where I got 0 accessories, 0, and I'm supposed to be competing against these guys with full 9-piece stone skin, full 9-piece perception in live arena. Like, it was brutal. So sorry, not sorry, man. I got to start winning some of these. I'm finally starting to get accessories. This just started like a month ago. So I have gotten a month of first places. That's 4 first places we've gotten. That's
Okay.
if I'm exploiting it, I'm exploiting it. But that's only because that's what we have to do to win, and it's because it exists. Like, whatever. Get rid of it. I'd rather have fair competition.
Okay.
I'd rather
All
have
right.
fair competition.
Now, I remember building.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Well, can I answer the question that you asked before you switched it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like you were saying, the next best thing. Like, so they take Trunda out, or they take these cheese out, the next best thing. But like, kind of like what Kenpachi said, the next best thing is so far from Trunda, it's not even close. I mean, I would say Toshiro is one of the top end damage, like maybe probably the best outside of the cheese. I'm looking at a Clanmate's Nightmare team. It's a 3.8 billion. He's got like a Teox, Chris, Lady Mikage, Toshiro, Firo, Yasena. Toshiro is doing 1.6. He's no empowerment, 5-star blessing. Teox is +1 fully awake, and he's doing 1.1. So I mean, like, we're talking about 1.6 billion, 1.1 billion. These are like fully awakened +1, and they're not even in the same ballpark as Trunda. I mean,
And he's mythical.
And he's mythical, yeah. It's like, and then number 1 in my clan is doing 90 billion, and Trunda's got 80 billion. I mean, it's a +4 Trunda fully awakened, but it's like it's not even. Yeah, and so like so let's say they do have the next best thing, and it isn't Toshiro. They come out with they do another fusion or something that's really, really strong. As long as, I mean, okay, it's also Polarium. You have to realize this, but as long as they create these champions not super, super, super busted, like, then they can monitor the champions they release and not make another Trunda. I mean, I don't think there's anything in the game right now. I mean, maybe there is, and we just don't know about it. But that's going to be doing anything like Trunda. Or, I mean, even Yannicka is not doing, like, what Trunda is doing. So, even the next best thing, like, is not going to be anywhere close to Trunda.
Maybe not. We don't know that. I mean, again, we have a very intelligent community, very, very smart community out there that comes up with some of these most insane compositions. And speaking of insane compositions, let me ask you guys. Building these compositions takes a lot of things. I remember building the Corpulent Cadaver one, and that's why I was like, when they said that they were going to nerf the Corpulent Cadaver one, or people were calling for the Cadaver comp to be nerfed, I didn't think it was a good idea to nerf it, because it did take, I mean, first of all, you need to have a double Yumiko's, right? You need to have a Krisk. You needed to have gear that was incredible. And that's the other thing, is the gear that we run for some of these comps needs to be up really high. The standard for it is just insane. And it takes time. So thinking of it as an investment, right, where we're running the 2 hours or the hour and a half, having to put some of the best gear of our champions in there, right? And then forget the fact that you're spending, for some players, thousands of dollars trying to chase these champions, and then they get nerfed. Is that the right move? And do we really want that, right? Ken?
I mean, first of all, if the people should be know, if there is something broken, there is always potential that champion going to get nerf. I'm telling that for the Armans. I'm telling that for the Trunda. If you know that already, but if you're still opening your chart on their 10x, 15x, whatever, if you invest them, it's your problem, not mine. Like you should be do that. Which is Plarium is wait very long time to nerf the Trunda. They should be wait that long, man. They literally start Hydra Clash with the Trunda guys. Content creator was warning them. I remember the chat there, on the CC chat. Don't do that. Look, they was talking like people was start using Trunda on the hard difficulty. This is like before the clash started, guys.
Yeah.
She can work. She can do some crazy numbers. The crazy numbers, by the way, like 500 million or stuff like that on the hard difficulty. Then they released Hydra Clash with the Trunda 15x. I remember that. And after that, people discovered the Cadaver comp. Then everybody stopped using the Trunda comp because Cadaver comp. Most of the people were comp for the Cadaver. Trunda comp need a little bit more difficult to build. Then everybody forget about Trunda.
And
yeah,
the Cadaver comp was difficult to start because if you got that shield stolen 3% of the time, which was 30% of the time or 90% of the time, your run was over. I remember having to run that comp multiple times over and over again.
Yeah, plus like if let's say there's a mischief, you don't have a hex on it, you cannot kill him. He's a single target. But then they nerfed the Cadaver comp, and the Trunda comp is become a meta because they didn't fix it. They should be nerfed the Trunda that day when they nerfed the Cadaver. They didn't. They didn't. And they left her there, and people are start investing their resources. They are thinking like she's not gonna get a nerf, or I guess, which is we still don't know. By the way, we're talking about speculation. Maybe they are not gonna nerf her. Maybe they are gonna buff her. That won't surprise me, to be honest. But I won't count something like that, guys. Like if the champion are super strong, the company need to be balanced the game, and Raid is very bad on this thing, but I won't invest on this champion. I won't.
Okay. Gestal, what do you think?
What was the original question?
So the original question was based on the time that it takes, based on the amount of resources you got to get into it. First of all, if you get the resources,
is it fair to nerf?
Is it fair to nerf it?
Yeah. I think it's better to have a balanced game, and obviously people are going to get upset about it if there's a nerf, and a nerf of any overpowered champs, especially if you have it, especially the comp build, especially if you've invested, the investment in it. I've done all those things. I had a Corbin Cadaver comp for a while, more for the funsies. And then, now I have a Trunda comp, and I'm perfectly fine with them nerfing it. I'd much prefer to see balance over keeping a couple people happy. I think it's better. I think it's better for the game when there's balance.
Okay.
But someone brought up Armand's. Armand's is got to be picked 99% of the time, first pick in Gold Arena. That's broken.
Yeah.
Comps own I mostly play live arena, obviously. PvE stuff's all fun for me, but I don't take it super seriously. That's in any other game, like League of Legends. I played a little bit of League of Legends, but I played Smite mostly. But if there was someone that was getting picked first pick 99% of the time, hard nerf almost immediately. You can't have that in a game like a MOBA, and PvP and live arena is basically a MOBA. And if you're seeing a first pick on a certain champ that much, they've got to do something about it. And the answer isn't bring another champ in, because it doesn't work. If Armand gets a turn, it's over. You're getting stunned and you're getting sheeped the rest of the fight. You can't let him through. The turn meter is broken on that guy. So you have to balance the game, or people are going to stop doing it. That's just the way it is.
Okay.
So I'm fine with stuff getting nerfed. I don't care, man. Nerf it. If it's nerfing to make people angry, don't nerf it. But if it's nerfing to like truly bring balance to a game, I'm all for it. I don't care if it hurts me short term. I would much rather see uh balance and the longevity of a game, keeping the entire player base, happier. I feel like instead of just like the big spenders.
Okay. So, Plarium, you have that brought to you already by somebody who has the composition already done. You have his blessing to nerf it. Or, as PJ is going to mention here, rebalance it. PJ, what are your thoughts?
And I just bought, sorry, PJ, I just bought a 4-star to get the extra crit damage on my Trunda, because why not?
Yep.
Bring it on, man. I'll keep taking the damage. And if they nerf it. I'm fine with it, man. Totally fine.
Okay. PJ, what do you think?
Yeah, like a lot of other games do this. If something is really strong, and in like shooter game, if it's really strong, they'll balance the guns. Like a lot of people, obviously, they're not really spending money, but they're spending time to level up the guns, get the attachments, and then next day, oh, it's not good anymore. Sorry, you just wasted all couple hours, couple days of your time. The other thing is that if they could do like give the resources back if people are really, really upset about the resources they spent on it.
I'm sorry.
They could do that.
You're a really good comedian, PJ. Really good comedian. Please tell us where's the standout show? Where do we buy tickets?
Twitch mxpje.com. You can check me out there. Stream every weekday. But even if they didn't do that, at least for the TrundaCon, most of these champions are usable in other areas as well. It's not like they're just good for this. I mean, it's not like you're gonna not use. I mean, Trunda is still viable depending on where you are in the game. Could use her in arena, other areas. So it's not like they're just like completely useless. But yeah, I mean, if it's gonna be that much of a backlash and Plarium doesn't want to deal with it, then give us the resources back. If you want to, don't force it. But like, hey, if you don't want to use Trunda anymore, get the Lego books or something. I don't know. Could be done if they think it's gonna be a super, super big PR or bad PR thing for them. But yeah, I mean, you got to do what's best for the game, even though some people are gonna be upset that they wasted resources. Maybe if it's for the betterment of the game and betterment for everyone, then yeah, I think it needs to be done.
Okay.
Watcher of RAM have that, by the way, reset option. I don't know. They are giving every resources. I never use it. I don't know the detail. Maybe somebody on the chat know. But you can reset the champion. And they usually, I think they nerfed one of the strong champion in the game. After that, they released this feature, I believe. But again, I don't know the detail.
I do
like,
believe
let's say your Trunda is the +4, 6-star. Not only the book issue, also the book. So let's say, okay, they can give the book very easily, right? Like, it's not a problem. But what's going to happen to 6-star? Like, are they going to give the essence? Is it? Or what about the empowerment? Like, are they going to give you like universal chicken that you can empower any champion? That will be broken too.
That is true. You know what? Ken, you bring out a great point there. And I know, like I was just saying, Watcher Realms, or like you were just saying, sorry, Watcher Realms did do a nerf on a particular champion that was busted OP. And they refunded the resources back to anybody that had built that champion. But with this, we do have a lot more mechanics, right? We do have the energy that went into leveling the champion. We do have the silver cost that went into, leveling up the gear for him.
I mean, they are small things, to be honest. Like,
true. Well, they might look like small things, but there are some accounts that really struggle trying to get this, the book situation, the blessings, right? And should they refund that kind of stuff back? And how should it be refunded back? Should they just say, to your point about the blessing, how do you refund that, right? Because if you got a 6-star blessing on a Trunda and she's +4, chances are you might still use her somewhere else. So is it really something you want to do? That said, Ken, to your question now, or to the question that you've just made me think of, what would you support for them to give you back? Should there be, let's say, everything you invested and that champion should just be reset back to like a 1-star 5? or a 5-star level 1 with everything that you put into it refunded, or should you just get like a token or something that could give you, I don't know, anything else that would be within reason?
Obviously, I prefer full refund. Like everything you invested somehow coming back to you. Like if you purchase her soul, you need to get your essence back. If she's empowerment, somehow you need to. I don't know how they are gonna fix that, but they need to give you some universal champion that can empower maybe the same affinity. I would like to say, because you definitely don't want to use that on the Void Lego, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the mythical champion, of course. And if they give us that option, refund option, people won't be cry about the nerf, and I want them be more aggressive about the nerf into. If they give us this option, like, hey, you got this champion, full refund now. But even too, like let's say you just have like normal champion, things like 2 years ago, no empowerment, no awakening. You still want to open your shard during the, let's say, Sifi 15x, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's a great champion. And if they nerf her, well, she's not going back, right? She's just going, you can just reset her to the default form, right? 5-star. But you're still gonna be this champion, so you still kind of waste your shard if they nerf her, right? If you try to pull her. So this is really hard to deal with it. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how they are find the perfect solution for that. Really don't know.
Okay. So, Skywalker, I think to what we're trying to maybe go a little. I gotta be careful what I say here too. All right. Basically, what we're saying here, man, is we spent the time, the energy, the money. We went after these +4 Trundas. We went after this, and they nerf a broken champion. Yes, there is a warning that it can be said. Listen, you don't own this. This is just for pure enjoyment. Whatever you put in here, you could essentially kiss it goodbye. But is it right for the company, after they've waited for so long and let people spend, to nerf it and not give something back, right? Gestal, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm not going to go into any specifics, but they have refunded. Not me, but I've heard people say they refunded things that you wouldn't expect. So it can be done. Now,
Yes.
I think to Kenpachi's point, what extent would the refund be, and how would you necessarily apply it, right? Like, would you just want the blessing back? Would you just want the empowerments back? Would you just want to go back to 5-star level 1? I think that's really where it would get tricky. And yeah, even further, would you want, how many shards did you pull for her to get her? Like, you could have pulled 1,000 shards to get her.
Well, I mean,
So
the shard count was, I don't think should be or anything can be done about that, because you essentially,
yeah, it's an
you
outrageous. Yeah,
right.
you can never go that direction.
But I mean,
so it would have
about,
to limit it to just the champion, at least keeping the champion. I just think it just becomes logistically difficult.
mm,
So I would say they can't do it. Maybe if you wanted the blessing refunded or something, like, or unempowered, I could see maybe those.
mhm.
But I think anything above that, it would just start to get too like logistically annoying. Like, I don't
Okay.
even know how you would set it up.
Okay. And PJ?
Yeah, it would be very tricky, like you guys are mentioning. I think, and also we can't be too greedy. I mean, we can't ask for everything. I would say getting the books back would be really good. Getting the chickens back, maybe, if you're empowerment, getting your empowerments back. And then blessing is going to be hard, because depending on if you pulled it or bought it, it's going to be a lot less or more of like resources you got to spend. So let's say you just pulled a 6-star Trunda blessing from like any soul stone, okay, congratulations. Or let's say you bought it from 1 to 6 and you use all those essence, it's gonna be a lot more resources that you put in. So maybe just getting the soul just back as a whole. I mean, it's gonna be hard with the blessing because there's so many different ways you could get it. There's also you could have got a 4-star and then bought the 5 and 6-star.
Mm-hmm.
So the soul is gonna be a little tricky, but I definitely say getting the books back, getting the empowerments, and getting the chickies would be a great start.
Okay.
Even masteries, maybe gems for masteries back is asking too much. Definitely the first 3.
maybe like I don't know if they would give the masteries back, but I think maybe we should have like a scroll for the masteries that you could
that
buy.
You could like transfer to someone else. Or something.
I think something like that would be good. I definitely, it will be a touchy subject on not if, I guess I should say when, because they have stated that it will get rebalanced. It happens, right? That's it. Now, this comp's been going on for almost a year. I know the answer to this question is going to be yes across the board, but did they wait too long to address the issue with Trunda? Ken?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's there. Look. Like I mentioned earlier, if they already nerf her before they release the Clash, which is the content creator are warned them, we won't be talking about people waste their resources on the Trunda right now. They are nerfing it, stuff like that. They didn't. They sell, bro.
Yeah.
And they was happy. They did that on
They
purpose.
capitalized on it. Yeah.
Yeah, they did that on purpose.
I do believe they
and
said
it's
that.
been 1 year. When they announced the Trunda nerf, by the way, they still releasing champion for the Trunda. Like we got like a couple of Yumeko 15x. We got a Nia, Garant Nia, which is budget Trunda comp. Couple of Trunda 15x. Even
Okay.
they announced it. I mean, they didn't name the Trunda, but we guessing that. Yeah, like if there is something broken, like they should be release a statement. Like things like Yisansa, right? They said, hey guys, we are going 15x Yisansa, but we are going to change her skill.
Mhm.
Look, on the next patch, something going to be changed on her skill. They said that. I think it was spread, right? What buff she was casting? Incarnate?
Was it
she was a
are we talking
Poison
about
Cloud?
the poison cloud check?
Yisansa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Void Lego.
Poison
yeah.
Cloud.
Yeah. They said
Extending
that.
it?
Yeah, Poison Cloud. Yeah,
it
that was
getting extended.
spread. Yeah, you
Spread,
can spread
yeah.
that, I believe. Yeah. They said they are going to change it. That was a quick note below to the her 15x, You
Mhm.
can do something like that. If you cannot just fix it right away, you can try to warn the people. And of course, it's been 1 year now, like it's Pilarium always waiting that long to balance the game, man. Taras Maricha, for example. They wait 1 year to release a solution for them. They didn't nerf them, by the way, still.
You don't
It
need
just
to nerf
there is a
them.
Narcissus now, like Narcissus can
Yeah.
perfectly counter them.
You
And by the way,
Go ahead.
they didn't nerf Taras Maricha, right? They didn't nerf the bolster set, right? They didn't nerf the Duchess, right? But releasing a champion basically nerfing them as well. That's also the another thing, Like bolster set against Narcissus, good luck. You can't use it.
Well,
I mean,
again, they create the problem and sell the solution. That's how business
yeah,
works.
exactly,
Right?
exactly. They create the problem with the armas. They release a buff set for him. What about that? This
It's not even
peril
good
set
enough.
on the
Yeah,
siege
I-
raid.
I-
I haven't messed with it yet, but yeah, it could possibly be.
Yeah, it's gonna be help him. So
Um,
stupid. He's not 1 year yet, right? Yeah, true. We need to wait 1 year.
1 year. All right, real quick, I just want to give a couple of shout outs. We got, I didn't do this early, but Zero Brew is in the chat, guys. Make sure you guys go follow him over on YouTube and Twitch. And we also got Sheeny here. And I know he doesn't do Twitch, but he does do YouTube. And I just posted his link in the chat. Make sure you guys go follow him over there as well. Does a lot of live arena stuff, a lot of PvP stuff. And if you ever find him in arena, ban his Rotos. #1 pick. Always. Gestal, what are your thoughts, man? What do you think? Did they wait too long?
Did they wait too long? Yeah, obviously the smartest thing they could have done would listen to the. I wasn't in the content creator program back then, but the smartest thing would have been done. The content. This I'm very quiet in that content creator chat because the things that people are saying are all very smart and succinct, man. Like it's like. Please listen to these guys. They understand the game. They're smart, and they're coming like Drock brings some of the like. It's like how are they not listening to him? He's like it makes so much sense. So I wish I didn't, Kenpachi saw it. I didn't see it back then, but they should have listened, man. They should have listened. They should have did it back then for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes I'm a little scared to type in a message into that content creator chat because I'm like, is this a legitimate question or am I just going to make a dummy of myself? Usually 50-50. 50-50. PJ.
Well, you can't be worried about that either, man. You just got to throw it out there. You never know. How you going to find out? How you going to find out, man? You got to throw it out there.
I do. PJ, what do you think? Too long?
I mean, I guess it's never too late to apologize, but
Oh.
yeah, I mean, a little late. Better would have been sooner. And I feel like people are saying in chat, "Oh, it's too late, too late." I definitely don't think it's too late. This needs to be addressed. And also, I see people. I feel like most of the community honestly wants this change. I feel like maybe 10-20% don't want it. I may be delusional, but I feel like majority, even the people that have the Trunda comps. I mean, Gestal, I run Trunda myself, not a crazy team. I run around normal, but I feel like a lot of people would be honestly more happy than sad if she did get rebalanced. But yeah, I would say it's definitely not. It's never too late to do something, but if, like Kenpachi said, if they would have done it during when they did the other changes, the other rebalances, then we just been ripped the band-aid off, get them all done at once, and then we wouldn't have had this like ongoing issue.
Okay.
I'd actually be very excited if they did it.
I would be too.
I wouldn't
I'd
be mad.
happy.
I wouldn't be mad
I
at all.
think a lot of people would be happy.
Yeah.
All right. Let me ask you guys this then. Let's go to back to the Corpulent Cadaver composition. Had they not nerfed Corpulent Cadaver, would the Trunda composition still be an issue, or the Madman, or no nerfs to any of these comps? If they had just left them as it is, would this still be an issue to this day? What do you guys think, Ken?
I mean, like you mentioned earlier, Cadaver comp is okay. Like, if we talk about end game perspective, let's say you have everything, you are not going to use the Cadaver comp, you are going to use the Trunda comp. Trunda comp is way better than Cadaver comp as a damage wise and the run wise, because you are going to one shot that, then you are going to reset your cooldown, one shot again, and you keep repeat like that. Cadaver is definitely way harder, and there is a little bit RNG element on the Cadaver. So yeah, like maybe not that much end game player will use the Cadaver comp instead of the Trunda, but there is still gonna be some damage gap between them. So yeah, Trunda comp's still gonna be issue, even they didn't nerf him. So they just nerf him because he's rare champion, man. I'm telling you.
You know what? He still cost me almost 4,000 mystery shards to get on my account. Like, yeah, let's go. And I remember
refund those.
I remember. I remember I was on Panda's account. Panda had like 700 or 800 ancients and was like, just keep pulling until you get that guy. Just keep pulling because I need him built. So I think it ended up being like 200 or 300 before we got him. It was just bad. It was just bad. But with that said, though, I mean, I feel like, we've got champions like Wixwell that could come in right now, and on this Cadaver comp could have made it even more to Trunda level damage. So, Gestal, what do you think? If they had never nerfed any of these comps, would we be still having the issue with the Trunda comp? Would we still be complaining as a player base?
Well, I don't know if we'd be complaining. I think we'd be running all three of them on the three different levels or three different keys for a Hydra Clash, right?
But you have 6 Yumikos?
Did you need that many Yumis?
You need 2 Yumikos.
All of them?
No, Cadaver comp? Not really.
You could probably swing it with some different ones.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I was never a master at these things. Like, I just did them
Cadaver
on
had
stream for
a
funsies. Like,
composition that could be worked with Krisk and double Yumiko's, Brogni.
I mean, it's
And-
like a Trunda comp, you know, like if you want a perfect team, easiest one,
well,
yeah.
yes.
Same for the Trunda, you know, like no, you can't run the Cadaver without Yumeko or the Chris. It's gonna be harder, your damage may be gonna be lower, but it's same rule for the Trunda as well. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
So I obviously if Trunda's still smashing it, I think people will probably still be complaining about it. I also found it weird that like the biggest damage in the game was coming from a rare A1. So like I really had no issue with that being taken out. Though I love that people figured it out and started testing it and made it work. Like I think that's amazing. I love that about the community. But I also don't think that a rare A1 should be hit that hard. It's kind of ridiculous.
Well, come on. I
So,
mean, you
like,
gotta
it's
show some Rez love, right?
Cold Heart
we
gets
got-
plenty of love.
Listen,
Yeah, we got Cold
well,
Heart, man. They're good.
That's there we go. Cold Heart is like one of the only champions that gets used all the way into the end game. Like, how many rares do you bring all the way into the end game? You know,
Well, how many should we?
Well, a little
like,
more now, but
I think they should be
Yeah,
a little
you're
more
right.
viable for a lot of the player base that that's free to
I
play
think they're
early
good
Well,
with
you
on.
it.
get
Yeah.
better champions when you get end games. You just don't use them anymore. If you're early, you still use rares. If you
I
get
use it. Man, teams I'm building right now for my free to play to get through Faction Wars. I have nothing but rares right now. Like it's nothing but love for them, man. I've six-starred about 5 rares in the last couple of weeks.
Well, if it wasn't for Centranos, I probably wouldn't build half of my rares anyways. But
Yeah, and Citranos.
and
I mean,
epics.
they come a little more
Yeah.
valuable, you know.
I mean,
Nothing crazy.
to Gestal's point, you've got Ironclad in my composition that basically does all the damage. So should they nerf that?
Yes.
And
Minute runs on Phantom Shogun have 4 rares in it.
That's true. That's true. PJ, what do you think, man? Did they? Would we be complaining if the Cadaver comp or any of the other comps would never nerfed?
I would probably personally be complaining. I mean, I hate that these cheese teams are taking away from Hydra champions that are supposed to be Hydra champions. These are not supposed to be intended Hydra champions. I mean, they end up being worked out to be Hydra champions because the community is really, really smart. And like Gestal said, I mean, that's awesome. Props to the community for being really smart, but it's not working as intended. They're not supposed to be doing this much damage. And I think even if Trunda and these teams were still available, I still think it would be not good. I think they would still be needing to change. It would give more people options to get those kind of teams, but I don't think that's. I think we need less of these teams, not more. I think we got to have scaling down to everywhere else. And again, people are saying there's just gonna be like a next best Trunda, and I mean Trunda is so far and away above, better than everyone else. I mean, even these Wixwell and Ironclad teams, she's destroying them. I mean, it's not even close. So it's
And I think we'd see a lot more interesting comps come out. We'd
So
see a
many.
lot more. Like I've been seeing some good damage on Nightmare, using different mythicals in ways you
Mhm.
wouldn't expect. Like we would see way more of that than we see now. So I think
Variety.
it would. I think it'd be way cooler, honestly.
To be fair,
Yeah.
everybody has been stuck on the Trunda comp, and if you've got a Trunda, that's probably what you're using. You're not going to sit there and try to spend the time and energy to figure out a different champion. But
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people already at their theory crafting and saying, okay, I can't wait to nerf Trunda because I've got this one that I'm going to abuse the hell out of.
And another thing is if the community does come up with something else that's really, really strong, they can rebalance that too. I mean, like they should be constantly making the game balanced. It should be a constant effort. It shouldn't be just like power creep or like super, super, super strong, then up, down, up, down. They should be constantly trying to keep it level as best they can.
I do like how PJ's refraining to use the word nerf and always using the word rebalancing, guys.
PR
you
training.
Yeah. Are you sure you don't work for Plarium?
Who? What? Who's that?
I feel like we definitely back to where Gestal was talking about. Players want to run those compositions. There's just got to be a better way for us to just have Hydra Clash fix over the compositions, because honestly, if you want to sit there and put yourself through that type of misery of running an hour and a half composition for that, for your clan to win, fine. That is all up to you. I do believe, again, fixing the point measuring content, or the point measuring on the game, is what needs to be done. It's going to be fine-tuned, and I think, again, they waited too long to try to come out with this and try to balance the game mode itself, which is unfortunately a problem, but it is what it is. Let me ask you, if they all of a sudden, because we've seen them now give some of these accessories in different events, like the Deck of Fate that we just had, if they started giving out these stone skin accessories and these protection accessories in different events, would Hydra Clash still matter to you? Would it still bother you if you win or lose, Ken?
No, not really. Like, the only reason we are doing Hydra Clash for this very strong accessories, of course. Like stone skin, special stone skin. I mean, same for the protection, but protection is kind of needed. You know, most of people using protection, not for arena wise, for Hydra wise, to boost your damage actually. But stone skin in the arena is meta. Like every single champion need to be stone skin.
Okay.
So,
Gestal.
Yeah, would it not be as important if you could get them other places? Of course, it'd be wonderful. Like I said, there was months there where we couldn't even get into fourth place. We were just going against such, you know, we had just lost so much points in our Hydra Clash that it took us forever to get settled in another bracket where we could compete. And even then, you get thrown in with one or two people that are running the Trunda comps. So, I think, I think it'd be better. I feel like accessories are pretty much dead. Like spider accessories are pretty much dead. If you can get reaction, if you can get stone skin, especially stone skin for arena, protection, like Kenpachi said, I would love to get just a 5-star attack ring for my Siffy, man, so I could finally get a 9-piece on her. That would be wonderful. But I mean, a 9-piece protection is a huge boost in damage. So it's yeah, the great pieces. I kind of wish you could just get rid of the faction based accessories and let us just farm the good accessories. It's fine. It'd be so much better.
Let us
Obviously, they're not going to do that. But
let us not farm the silver that we need and just give us the OP accessories. Agreed.
Yeah, way better, man.
You know, I agree. The accessories coming out of the dungeons, especially right now, are kind of trash. To that point, I think I keep like 5-star refresh, stone skin, and almost any one of these new special sets that comes out, even if it's a 5-star like epic or rare, I still hold on to it because it might help me complete that set. As opposed
who cares
to,
if it's attack on an HP person, man? You got to get the set.
And as opposed to, like, even if I get like a 5 or not a 5, yeah, like a 5 or 6-star legendary, I'm more likely to let it go because it's a normal piece that even got one roll into like a subset that I didn't want, right? Because I'm looking for those perfect rolls. PJ, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I think it's a tricky thing because if they add stone skin accessories and protection accessories into tournaments and events, it's going to be obviously easier to get. More people are going to be getting them. Also, earlier accounts are going to be getting them, which means it's going to be just even more rough in arena. You're going to be seeing more stone skin, even more just slow, toxic teams. So it's like they've been trying to like trickle it to us slowly. So it's just not like flooded with everyone having stone skin accessories and protection accessories. But it would be nice to at least have everyone get them from Clash. It's not just the top 3. That would help a little bit. But I think it would help if they were in tournaments and events, at least to have them be more available. If they keep it this way and not have it be where everyone can get them, But yeah, it's a tricky tightrope because the more they add them to being easier to get for younger accounts, earlier accounts, it's gonna be just even more toxic in those earlier stages of arena.
I seem to look at chat here, and as every time PJ talks, it's like, oh, people are just like always like, yep, we agree. Preach on, brother. Tell us the truth. I think George Morgan here brings up a good idea. Put it in like hard mode 10. Give it like a low drop rate that we can try to get it out of there. I think that would be good. Based on what they've told us recently, we're going to be getting participation rewards. They haven't told us what they are. Unfortunately, to be honest, guys, participation rewards is not something I find because it just basically tells me I don't gotta try. It is what it is. But should participation rewards in this be? Should you have a chance to get those stone skin accessories and protection accessories, Ken?
I mean, I really don't remember the number right now, how much accessories we are getting for each placement. But let's say on the number 1, you are getting 6 accessories. Number 2, you are getting 5. Number 3, you are getting 4. And it need to go down like that, Number 4 has to be get like 4. And last one, it should be get like at least 3, Like it's need to -1 basically, And yeah, I think is every clan should be get them.
Okay.
Right now, number 4 is and number 5 not getting guys anything. So last 2 is not getting anything.
iCrushed says it's going to be 1 fragment of a primal shard. Ouch.
Ooh, juicy.
Gestal, what do you think, brother?
First, I think Primal Shard shouldn't even exist. Give out the Primal or don't give it out, man.
You mean
it's
the Primal
so
Quartz?
ridiculous. Or yeah, whatever. Yeah, the quartz. Yeah, whatever it's called. The ones that make a shard.
Yeah.
Like, we're giving it. I mean, come on, you're getting rares out of most of those anyway. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, I think that go down 1 per level. I think that would be fine. I think and this is maybe the only time I'll ever say this. I think a participation trophy is good here, but you have to participate. Like, you don't get it if you didn't use your key, right? Like, I think you have to use all 3 keys, like be part of the clan, be part of the team, and if you guys come in last, at least you're getting 2, 3 accessories. That would be huge. It would be a game changer, honestly. And I think more people would do it, honestly.
Okay. And PJ?
Yeah, I think another thing, can you go back to the Hydra Clash? Yes, yeah. Is the bottom tier is too high for a lot of lower clans, so even if they are winning, they're not getting enough points to like get the clash rewards. Is that happening?
Correct. So clans like one of my alt clans, I think I get like 6 million damage, and if we win Hydra Clash, I get doo-doo.
Yeah, so that I think also needs to be addressed. That is a terrible, terrible feeling. Like, we won, guys. Yes. What do we get? Oh, nothing, because there's a limit of the chest or a maximum we have to hit. So I think that needs to be adjusted, along with getting 4th and 5th place, at least something. Obviously not as high as the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, but to go through a full week, especially of hopefully trying your best, trying to do your thing, and then just to get 4th or 5th and get nothing is terrible. It feels really bad. So yeah, I think both of those need to be adjusted and fixed.
Okay. Now, the last question I want to ask you guys is, when we start getting these participation rewards, if they have all of these zone skin and protection accessories, do you really care if they nerf the Trunda comp or any other one of these comps? Ken?
Yes, of course I care. I want to be number 1, not number last.
Okay. So whether you get a participation reward or not,
I mean, participation reward is not going to be good as a number 1 reward, so of course you want that.
Okay. Gestal?
Yeah, I'd still rather have 6 instead of 2 or whatever it would work out to be. So
So you'd still want the
nerf
Trunda
her.
comp?
It's gonna honestly nerf her, and it's gonna. I'll have more interest in Hydra Clash and building new comps, and and probably trying to maximize. Right now I don't even care, man, because I know I'm gonna get all my damage from that.
Okay.
So I let my other 2 teams just run full auto if they end early because something messes up, whatever. Krizia kills herself on a reflect damage. Whatever, man. It's over. I don't care. Trunda's gonna give me the damage.
Okay.
So
PJ?
Yeah, I definitely still want them to be nerfed, changed. And I would almost argue that with the Trunda comp, again, like kind of what Gestal was saying, people are becoming kind of lazy and not really trying to think of different comps. I think if the Trunda comp got nerfed, all these cheese comps got nerfed or rebalanced, rebalanced. Then and with the addition to the empowerment of epics, we're seeing a lot more +4 epics. Whisper, Oboro seeing a lot of playtime in arena, or sorry, not arena, in the Hydra. I think that it would open up to even more different ideas, more different comps that people could think of to get, obviously not super broken damage, but usable damage that is people haven't thought of yet. So I think that would almost become more different comps, more ideas, more theory crafting if Trunda got and these cheese comps got rebalanced. Yeah.
I noticed you cursed a little bit over there saying,
No,
Nurfed.
rebalance.
Don't make me have to call you mom and tell her you've been cursing.
Sorry. No.
All right. You know what? Let me ask you this. Ken, where can people come and find you?
FinalKenpachi at the Twitch, streaming every single day after the clan was reset, and at the same name, FinalKenpachi on the YouTube.
Okay, Gestal, same question to you, brother.
Thank you. Gestal Gaming on Twitch and YouTube. So I've been putting out my live arena on the YouTube. So if you like watching that, come on over there, check it out. And I appreciate the support.
All right, PJ, what about you?
Yeah, MXPJE on Twitch. I stream pretty much every single weekday, 2 times a day as much as possible. And then Sundays, be live here, and that's at TELERIA. Always love hanging out, talking raid with you guys.
All right, and just like PJ said, you can catch them all here. Now, I do want some shout outs, guys. PJ, you're going up first. Who you got for a shout out? You're the baseball player, right?
True, yes, sir. Let's give a shout out to Pogo Pink Tie. He's an awesome dude. The Sideshow, if you guys are not following him, go check him out. Drop him a follow. I'll post a link in the chat here to his Twitch in a second. But yeah, he's a super grinder, always on, chilling, hanging out, good vibes. If you guys are not following him, definitely check him out.
Definitely.
Here's the link.
Pogo Pink Tie has one of the best mustaches out there. And he's also another union brother of mine working out in California for UPS. Doing an excellent job.
Doing the Lord's work.
I don't know about that, but yeah. Gestal, what about you, man? What you got for a shout out, brother?
I'm gonna shout out my man Metaverse Truck. Awesome dude out there streaming a lot. Head over there on Twitch, Metaverse_truck, and check him out. Give him a follow. Awesome dude.
All right. Ken, what you got for a follow, brother?
I like to shout out Hint Shoes. He's also watching us right now. I'm gonna post his link on the chat. He's streaming pretty much every day, I believe, playing Raid mainly. He's also trying Baldur's Gate 3 tactical version hardcore, which is like if you die, like real life.
Done.
So it's too much pain. And yeah, make sure to follow. Make sure to check this out, guys.
Definitely, Heinz Sauce, one of my favorite creators out there, streamers. Actually, he's a vet, so big love out to him for doing what he did for us. Takes a lot, and he's recently married, which is a big commitment there for anybody that is currently married. I think I've been married with my wife now, I want to say 13 years. I don't know how
What do
she
you mean
puts
you
up with
want
it.
to say?
I want to say I think it is. I don't know. The time just
You
blends
gotta know
in.
that stuff, bro.
Yeah, okay. How many of you out there remember how long you've been married with your wives? Be real. Be real.
Can we skip that question?
Can't relate.
And my shout out's actually gonna go to Mr. Grim Reaper Raid TV. He's actually streaming right now. We're gonna go drop him a raid there. Guys, he's gonna be a dad anytime soon. He's gonna need the support. He's gonna need all the energy he can get because that baby will keep him up at night. And oh man, is he going to be crying? Because I will tell you, as a father of 3, when those kids get up at night, it is hell. And if his wife is anything like mine, she is not going to take it laying down. She is going to say, get your butt up and help me. So that's it, guys.
Have another quick shout out.
What's up?
Another shout out to to Zero Brew and Jarec. They're not here, but go check them out, drop them follows. Awesome people, streaming a lot. And when they have time, they hang out here with us on Sunday, so check them out as well.
Definitely. Don't worry, guys. Zero Brute did not go on vacation. He's not skipping out on us for that. He's just, he wants to take an IRL day, but he'll be streaming tonight. And as for Jay, he's got a spot on this podcast anytime he wants. As a matter of fact, probably when I get off the phone, I'm going to call him and talk to him just to make sure he's all good. So, fun time, guys. We talked about, nerfing compositions. Should they be nerfed? Should they not be nerfed? And there's plenty more to talk about, right? If you have any questions, if you have a topic you want us to discuss, feel free to reach out in Discord to me or any one of these guys, and we'll get it on. We'll get it on because it's a community-based show for you guys, and this is what we're here for. As always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. We'll catch you guys.